Hey everyone, John Green here, and today we're talking about tests, specifically how to give them and grade them fairly. Because let's be real, nobody likes tests. But they're a fact of life in education, so we might as well do them right. Test administration is how we give tests. It seems simple, but it's super important. Think of it like building a house. If the foundation is messed up, the whole thing falls apart. Same with tests. Bad administration means the results are meaningless. We can't tell who actually learned the stuff. And that's not fair to anyone, so how do we make sure our tests are rock solid? Let's find out. First things first, we need to be organized, like super organized. We're talking color-coded folders, labeled boxes, the whole shebang. Why? Because time is precious, my friends. We need to collect those question papers on time so we can start the test without a hitch. And speaking of starting on time, let's make sure everyone's in the right seat. No last-minute musical chairs allowed. Once everyone's settled, we gotta hand out the tests. And not just toss them on the desks like frisbees. We're talking calm, orderly distribution. Think of it like a sacred ritual, passing out the knowledge scrolls. Okay, maybe not that dramatic, but you get the idea. And finally, before we unleash the testing beast, let's remind everyone about the rules. No cheating, no talking, no telepathic communication with your neighbor, no matter how tempting. We want a fair fight, people. Okay, so we've got the logistics down. But a good test is about more than just logistics. It's about creating a respectful and supportive environment. We want our students to feel confident, not terrified. First impressions matter. So, when we're explaining the test, we gotta use our inside voices. No yelling, no complicated jargon, just clear, simple instructions that everyone understands. And speaking of understanding, let's be realistic about the time limit. We don't want to set our students up for failure by giving them an impossible deadline. Remember, Rome wasn't built in a day, and neither is a good test score. Now let's talk about the testing environment. We're not aiming for a dungeon vibe here. We want a well-lit, well-ventilated room with comfortable seating. Think of it as a spa day for the brain, except with more multiple-choice questions. And finally, let's make sure the test itself is user-friendly. Clear fonts, readable format, and enough space to write. We want our students to focus on the questions, not decipher hieroglyphics. Alright, time to talk test types. We've got two main contenders, essay tests and objective tests. Both have their strengths and weaknesses, like Batman and Superman. Essay tests are like the superheroes of critical thinking. They require students to organize their thoughts, form arguments, and express themselves in their own words. Think of it like writing a mini essay on, well, anything. Objective tests, on the other hand, are all about speed and accuracy. They usually involve multiple choice, true, false, or matching questions. It's like a mental obstacle course, testing your knowledge and quick thinking. So which one's better? It depends. Essay tests are great for assessing deep understanding and writing skills, while objective tests are better for measuring factual knowledge and comprehension. It's like choosing between a Swiss Army knife and a lightsaber. Both are awesome tools, but for different jobs. Section 5, Mastering Essay Scoring, the Point Analytic Method. Now let's talk scoring, and trust me, this is where things get interesting. First up, the Point Analytic Method. This is like the Sherlock Holmes of essay grading. We start with a super detailed answer key, breaking down the essay into key points. Each point gets a specific number of points, like a treasure map to a perfect score. Then, we put on our detective hats and carefully analyze each essay, awarding points for each key point addressed. It's all about objectivity, folks. No favoritism, no gut feelings, just cold, hard evidence. The beauty of this method is its consistency. Every essay is graded against the same standard, ensuring fairness for all. It's like a perfectly calibrated scale, weighing each answer with precision. Section 6, Mastering Essay. Scoring, the Global Holistic Method. Now, for a more intuitive approach, we have the Global Holistic Method. This is like judging a singing competition. It's all about the overall impression. Instead of nitpicking over individual points, we focus on the big picture. How well does the essay flow? How effectively does it communicate its message? How much pizzazz does it have? We sort the essays into different piles based on their overall quality, like sorting socks after laundry day. The best essays go in the rockstar pile, the decent ones in the pretty good pile, and so on. This method is great for assessing writing style, creativity, and overall understanding. However, it requires a bit more experience and judgment from the grader. It's like tasting wine. You need a refined palate to appreciate the nuances. Section 7. Scoring objective tests. Techniques for accuracy and efficiency. Okay, let's switch gears to objective tests. These are usually easier to grade, but we still need to be careful. One wrong answer can mean the difference between a passing and failing grade. The most common method is manual scoring. We compare each student's answers to the answer key, marking each one right or wrong. It's like a game of concentration, but with higher stakes. For larger classes, we can use stencil scoring. This involves a special stencil that only reveals the correct answer spaces. It's like a magic decoder ring for tests, making grading faster and more efficient. And for the ultimate in grading technology, we have machine scoring. Students answer on special sheets that are then fed into a machine, which grades them automatically. It's like something out of a sci-fi movie, but it actually exists. No matter which method we choose, accuracy is key. Double-checking our work and using a consistent system helps ensure fairness and prevents those dreaded grading errors. Section 8. Ensuring objectivity and providing feedback. Now, no matter what type of test we're giving or how we're grading it, objectivity is crucial. We can't let personal biases or preferences influence our judgment. We're like judges in a courtroom, sworn to uphold fairness and impartiality. One way to ensure objectivity is to grade anonymously. This means we don't know whose test we're grading, preventing any unconscious bias from creeping in. It's like a blind taste test for essays, ensuring a level playing field. And finally, let's not forget about feedback. Tests shouldn't be just about assigning grades. They should be opportunities for learning and growth. Providing constructive feedback, both positive and negative, helps students understand their strengths and weaknesses. Think of it like coaching a sports team. We point out areas for improvement, offer encouragement, and celebrate successes. Because at the end of the day, we want our students to succeed both on the test and in life. Section 9. Conclusion. Effective assessment for meaningful learning. So, there you have it, folks. The ins and outs of test administration and scoring. It's a lot to take in, but trust me, it's worth it. By following these best practices, we can create fair, reliable, and meaningful assessments that accurately measure student learning. And that's something we can all feel good about. Remember, tests don't have to be scary. With a little planning, organization, and a dash of empathy, we can turn them into valuable learning experiences for everyone involved. Now go forth and conquer those tests.